I'm an old movie buff and I love the classics. And so I wanted to talk about those rivals, Bette Davis and Joan Crawford. They were rivals in real life, but what about their diets? Who had the better diet? Let's look into that. I first want to talk about Bette Davis. Now, Bette Davis was feisty. She was very exacting and she was definitely commanding. And she was a perfectionist. Bette Davis believed in having protein at every meal. But what I found interesting was her protein did not have to be meat. She wanted this perfected 3-minute egg. So she was very exacting about that. A 3-minute egg. And her cook, Catherine, made sure that it was timed to perfection for that 3-minute egg. Now, Bette Davis had New England roots, so some of the things that she liked were the things that were familiar to her. Homemade burgers, clam cakes, fresh berries with cold cream, wine spritzers, and cucumber salad, coffee, and that 3-minute egg. And you have to have nutrition. You have to have energy to keep up some of the spirited movies that she played in. Joan Crawford also took her work seriously. It's reported that Joan Crawford and Bette Davis, and I think they only played in one movie together, which was Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. And I saw that not too long ago. Amazing. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. But, albeit they were rivals, Bette Davis said of Joan Crawford that she was a professional, she came on time, and she knew her lines. So for Joan Crawford, there's no fattening foods. Unlike some other stars, they have some moments or periods where they like to deviate. I've reported to you about Marilyn Monroe and Dick Van Dyke. They regularly had ice cream and hot fudge sundae. But Joan Crawford, no fattening foods. And with Joan Crawford, unlike Bette Davis, she really participated in a lot of extreme diets. Now, in her own words, Joan Crawford says, "Foolish dieting injured my health. I ate condiments until the lining of my stomach was raw. She would often go days on just buttermilk." Can you imagine that? Just buttermilk? So I don't know how she was able to perform in a number of her roles that she performed in where there was a lot of physical activity and movement was necessary. Sometimes she had to dance. Where did she get her energy from? But sometimes she would go on these extreme diets for a week or even up to 10 days. But it also attests to her fortitude and the discipline that she had. Now, Joan Crawford was about 5'3", and she weighed 120 plus a little change. So she was a good weight for her height. So let's go over a typical breakfast that she had, particularly when she was into those extremes. She had a hot cup of water, 8 tablespoons of clear soup, 2 saltine crackers, and a 1/4 pound of tomatoes. For supper or later, she would have cottage cheese, 2 ounces of pineapple, 1 glass of buttermilk. And sometimes she would add to that a hard-boiled egg and 6 ounces of spinach. A whopping total of 505 calories. Anything less than 1,000, you're working toward a starvation diet. And it's hard to get all the nutrients that you need less than 1,200 calories. So I definitely could not support this extreme diet for a few days, let alone almost 10 days. But sometimes she would eat, and she really liked this ugly fruit that you get from Japan. She also liked kidney bean salad, huevos rancheros, so I guess she was splurging then, boiled beef flank, and I guess for her treat, it was fresh apples sliced, and she would add cinnamon, butter, a little brown sugar to it, lemon juice, and then she would have fried apples. And other times, again, it would be fresh fruit, tea, or some sausage or bacon. So there was a very limited diet, although she definitely promoted fresh fruits and vegetables, mainly is what she promoted. And I think as she got older, she wasn't participating as much in these dietary extremes. And according to Miss Crawford, she said, we need a little of everything. And the only thing that is all right to skip are these starchy foods. So I guess with starchy foods, you know, she probably didn't have macaroni and cheese. She probably didn't have noodles, rice and potatoes and sweet potatoes. And she definitely wasn't one because she was quite into etiquette and being well groomed. And there are a lot of good things that we can learn from both Bette Davis and Joan Crawford as far as their professionalism, their discipline, and their seriousness about their work. And it definitely paid off because we have two legendary stars. But getting back to Joan Crawford, she definitely was serious about 8 glasses of water. And that helped to promote her beautiful complexion. You know, so she was saying your complexion becomes good, not because of all of this makeup that you use, but what you do on the inside. So the fresh fruits and vegetables and that 8 glasses of water probably really paid off. And Joan Crawford probably wouldn't wear any makeup at all because she had very good complexion, but she didn't like her freckles. Her husband liked her freckles. The husband that she married, Albert, who was over the Pepsi Cola company, but she didn't like her freckles, so that's probably why she did wear makeup. So there you have it, our two ladies, rivals. And I would have to say the winner in this case, although I'm a Joan Crawford fan, would be Bette Davis. She seemed to have more of a sensible routine that she followed. What we need are sensible ways to lose weight and maintain our weight. So I will be doing a course, an online course, Boss Battle Strategies to Fight Fat, where I will focus on some sensible ways that you can lose weight, as well as a healthy cleanse and food choices to reduce your cholesterol, as well as your unhealthy fats. If you're interested, please just put in the comment yes, and I will send you when that course is available. So anyway, I'm glad to share this information with you. I'm Das, I'm out, but I look forward to seeing you next show.